Hey folks, I'm back again. My one viewer. Um, yeah, only getting like a couple views lately, if at most, but at least it's good. Better than none, and using this to save my information at least somewhere. So I just found out my MacBook Pro is so garbage. Like I knew it was garbage, but I just realized that it destroys any photo that goes on it. So if I download this photo onto my computer, then it turns into this garbage, pixelated shit. So yeah, just realized that. Cool. Good to know. So I've been, downloading thousands of photos onto this computer and apparently ruining them all. So this is how the scum of Silicon Valley screw over regular people and fuck up our lives without caring. I mean, I'm sure they revel in fucking up our lives. Sure, it like gets their dicks hard, gets them wet. Anyway, so here's a real image of it, non-pixelated. And so I'm thinking I have a pretty good idea of what most of this is. This is the ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways. So these are painted inside coffins, all about 4,000 years ago. This one is one of the later ones, so it's maybe 3,500 or 700 years ago. So anyway, this is America here, and I'm just going to do the very quick overview just for anybody new. Like this is the older versions of the map. This is America. This is East Coast on the bottom, West Coast on the top, and parts of this is inaccurate due to mistakes in copying the earlier maps, which were more accurate. The 5,500-year-old map from Hierakonpolis, Egypt. And but anyway, this is Brazil. This is Florida. This is Quebec, etc. So this is Oaxaca here. So, but there's a newer version that's like this, and I think that they made it partly stylized to also be a diagram to build a craft. So, presumably or seemingly a sailing craft, but maybe it's a flying craft. I don't know. Because this looks like a rudder. That's what makes me think it's a sailing craft. But, they do say that the UFOs or the Vimanas or something, that they have something that pushes the air through them. So that could be this. So maybe it is air, land, water, craft, who knows. But also they flipped it inside out like the Hierakonpolis map. So this is the north and this is the south, as opposed to the other one is the opposite. So this is Alaska, this is Greenland. So it's like looking at America from underneath, since it's the underworld for them. It's like looking straight through the earth at America. So this being Alaska, directly across from Alaska seems to be Siberia. And so this is the Kamchatka Peninsula. And this is the little island at the tip of it, and then the long island after that, and then the series of islands after that. And then this seems to be, well, I might have a thing that shows some of this, but Uh, anyway, I had a comparison of this showing showing a lot of this stuff, but oh yeah, here it is. So this shows, you know, here's these islands, you know, here's this long island right there. Forget what it's called. I have it written somewhere, but and then the string of islands. So that seems to be these white parts of this snake. And then the three birds seem to be Kamchatka Peninsula here, which is like basically the first gateway of Afro-Eurasia on this side, or the first or last gateway, whichever way you look at it. Gatekeeper, actually, is the correct terminology. And then, so this rabbit thing seems to be the Japanese archipelago, including the Russian island of Sakhalin. And then these smaller three birds seem to be another peninsula, Korea here. And then I was thinking there's this long kind of curved snake or something with a big head. And I was thinking that its tail was this peninsula here. I forget what this is called, but this is, I think this is the biggest Chinese peninsula. But now I'm thinking it's actually this thing here. It's actually this, this is Hainan Island, China, and this is, what the hell is it called? Something Chow or something. Let's see. Lei Chow. See if it has it in my photos. So yeah, you see it here. It has a curved body and then a big head or whatever. And so let's see if I can find it in here. First rule of gun safety, never let the government take your guns. True story. All right, I don't know where the hell this thing went, but I think it takes a while to like upload everything onto here. Oh, it's frustrating. I was like just reading it. It's something EI ZHOU, like either Lei Shao or Lie Chao. I think it's maybe pronounced Chao. So anyway, but it's very close to the peninsula, to this island, to Hainan Island, and it's curved. Sorry. It's curved the same way that that this gatekeeper's body is curved, like the exact same way, because these are depicted as facing the northeastward sailing Voyager. So you're sailing northeast, you see first the head, so first is the head, and then you see the curved body. So the curve is going the exact right way. The only discrepancy is that the body is longer than this peninsula seems to be, but that might not have been meant to be fully exact. Like maybe we imagine that the tail is like embedded into the mainland there. So try to come back with the name of that. But man, it would be good if this would upload quicker, because I downloaded some good things recently about this. But this one, so yeah, here I have this peninsula circled as that, but you know, because it seems like, I mean, it is the longest peninsula in the area, so it seemed like it fit best. But now I'm thinking it's actually this, based on my analysis of other gatekeepers on this same book, in this same version of the Book of Two Ways. So then the next gate is Indochina, you know, Southeast Asia, and this thing basically, and this peninsula, the Indochina Peninsula, is the gatekeeper. So right there, it's shown as a, seems like either a like a mermaid's tail kind of thing, but only one side of the tail is long and the other is really short, or some kind of leaf with a stem, something like that. I'm leaning towards it's like some kind of mermaid's tail or fish tail or something. But anyway, so that seems to be like the stem here seems to be, you know, this part, which is Thailand on the east coast and Myanmar on the west coast. So this is Myanmar, pretty big ass country actually. It's like the biggest country in Southeast Asia, it seems. And then Thailand's pretty big too. It includes this and this. And then this, either at least this part is Malaysia. I'm not sure if this is Malaysia or if this is still part of Thailand. But yeah, I think this part is Malaysia. And then the tip here is Singapore. And, you know, it's kind of like a dot on the end of this. That would be Singapore. And, but there's a little bit kind of going the other way here. And you can see that here on the ancient map. So anyway, I finally zoomed in to find out more about that peninsula, and it turns out it's actually an island, but it's so close to the mainland that there's like a bridge to it. So, so anyway, that is Phuket. That island is Phuket, Phuket. So there you go. And then, so there's the other ones, you know, the other gatekeepers further on. Well, anyway, I'll just show it on one of these, I guess, if I have it. Well, anyway, I was trying to, oh, this is actually, oh no, this is just a partial version. So this at least goes a little bit further. This seems to be the Horn of Africa, and then the other side of the Red Sea, the Arabian coastline. You know, the Arabian Red Sea coast. And all right, well, I will try to just show some kind of, even if it's a bad version, show the whole thing. So yeah, it goes from there. This phone doesn't know how to focus somehow on things. And then this, okay, that needs better focus. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the my photo cloud to get like a decent version of this. There should be somewhere on here. I mean, even this would probably be a better version, even though it's probably the same exact image. No, not very good. Because basically this is seems to be another similar thing to this, where it's actually a string of islands that are next to a gateway, next to a region. So, weed. I don't know, maybe there's no way to get back to that other version of it hiding somewhere. But anyway, I'll just give a brief overview. Like, so Kamchatka and its islands might be included as the Kuril Islands, and definitely the Kuril Islands seem to be the snake, the tail of this like of this rabbit, and then the torso is Hokkaido, legs are Sakhalin, Russian island, torso is Honshu, face is Kyushu, ears are Shikoku, this seems to be Korea, this seems to be Hainan and whatever peninsula that is that goes next to it. And this gate would be China, basically. This gate would be Southeast Asia, Indochina. This would be Thailand, Myanmar, Malaysia, Singapore, and then the little fuck it right there. Horn of Africa, Arabian Red Sea coast. But anyway, so this is a little snake that has like 3 main white dots inside it. So I'm pretty sure, or I'm definitely leaning towards that those are the Canary Islands. Those are the 3 largest of the Canary Islands that are near the West African coast. And then I'm leaning towards that this bull is Sicily, and that this line that, or snake or something that its tail is attached to, is the tip of the boot of Italy, like the front, kind of the front half of the bottom of the boot. and that these 5 ibexes are 5 of the major islands of the Mediterranean. Cyprus, Crete, Sardinia, Corsica, and Majorca. And then this guy seems to be the Greek mainland, the Peloponnese island here, or peninsula kind of. It's just barely attached. I don't know. I'll try to find a better image at least for that. Yeah, so here you can see it's only attached to the mainland on one side, and that side is Corinth. I think that's the Corinthian isthmus or whatever, and then this seems to be, this pointy part here seems to be the part of Thrace or whatever that touches, or that almost touches Anatolia, and basically the tip of this would be the European side of Istanbul. And all these dots are basically big kind of promontory, like things that, you know, stick out into the water. So this is, I mean, these are all real things. Like if you look at a map, in all these places, there's something that sticks out from the coast. Other than that, it's not super accurate. Like the shape of the Peloponnese island is not very good. The relative proportions of the Peloponnese island to the Greek mainland is not very good. But I still lean towards it being that, just because, you know, there's not a lot else it can be. It might be something else, but so anyway, and then these seem to be the Pillars of Hercules, the Almina Peninsula, or the Almina Peninsula, and the Rock of Gibraltar. And then this, I think, is Britain. It's hard to know because Britain is not so close to the mainland as most of these other ones. It's probably the furthest one from the mainland, but it might be close enough, and its position and everything might be appropriate still to be considered as a gatekeeper, or at least some kind of important island to be depicted, because not every depicted being is a gatekeeper per se. Some are just, you know, topography and just landmarks and stuff, but they're not specifically gatekeepers. So I think that this is Britain. You know, it's called the gray-haired one, which fits with like the white cliffs of Dover and everything. This has a pointy butt, which I'm thinking is the southwestern England, whatever that region's called, that kind of points way out west. And then all these little lines here next to each other, I think, are all the little islands of like Shetland and Orkney and the Hebrides and you know, Man and Rathlin and all that, Iona and whatnot. So like, and these two, at least one of these, it refers to as guarding these land gods. And so even though these are on, you know, for the most part, this is going like treating it as if you're just sailing along the coast in one direction, and then this is everything you meet. So this is different because these are both next to each other, even though technically if you're sailing along the coast, you would, if you're coming from Africa, from the African side, from the south, you would first encounter this Almina Peninsula, and then you would encounter these Mediterranean islands and peninsulas, and then eventually you would encounter the other half of the Pillar of Hercules. But I think they found it just more appropriate to put both pillars together. And also another reason for this is I think that every gatekeeper in this, you know, it tends to be in everything ancient Egyptian, like if you're encountering something, it's faced towards you. And that even means like if you're encountering hieroglyphs, like the movement that the direction you read in is like against the way the hieroglyphic figures are facing. So they're kind of facing towards you as you're reading along. And so that's similar with these. So like, as I was showing, you know, the east coast of Asia, they're all faced towards, they're all faced this way. So I'm thinking like if I'm correct that this is the Horn of Africa and this is the Arabian Red Sea coast, then Egypt's like right here. So that's why they're both facing in. So no matter which way you go, either this one's facing you or this guy's facing you. I know it's a bad image, but you know, so these are all facing that way. Like as soon as you turn east at, you know, the Arabian coastline from Egypt, everything you encounter is facing you. But likewise, the other direction, things are also, you know, the Horn of Africa is also facing you because you can also go that way. But I think what it does is after it shows the you know, the Canary Islands here, just to finish with Africa, it goes to the Mediterranean. And so it basically goes back to Egypt. And so it's another way of leaving Egypt. And so I think that's why you have these in the order they're in, where you have, you know, yeah, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like this is, if this is Greece and this is, you know, Italy and Sicily, and then these are all the Mediterranean islands. So it's like, in a way it seems out of order, but it may be in the correct order for